Okay, so you're going to change and change. So everything in this parentheses gets a sign change because it's subtraction. You only have to do this when it is subtraction. So because it's subtraction, in between our two parentheses, we have to do a sign change. So that would be 2x squared plus 7x minus 3. And then that negative 4x squared is going to become a positive 4x squared. And the positive 5 flips to a negative 5. All right, now go ahead and combine your like terms. So when we combine our like terms, that would be this 2x squared and the 4x squared. Go ahead and add those together. Thank you. And then we're going to add together the negative 3 and the negative 5. So these are like terms because they both have an x squared. That makes them like terms. And then these two are like terms because they don't have a variable. We call those constants. So add your purple, add my two purple terms, add the two blue terms. And then the one that I didn't highlight doesn't have a like term, so that one won't change. So our final answer will be 6x squared because 2x squared, 2 plus 4 is 6. Bring down the 7. And then in your calculator, what did you get when you added negative 3 and negative 5? Negative 8. And that would be your final answer. All right, go ahead, take out your note packet. And I want you to find, we got 2 data sets. So go to page 3 in your notes. So we have set A and we have set B. So I want you to find the mean of set A and set B. So remember, how do you find the mean? You add up the numbers and then divide by the number of numbers. So set A has 4 numbers. So you're going to divide it by 4. Add them up, divide by 4. Set B has 5 numbers. So take a moment, figure out the average or the mean of set B. So set B, that would be 5 plus 9 plus 9 plus 13. That's divided by 4. See what you get? I didn't mean to say set B. That's set A. So go ahead, pick up your calculator. See what you get. All right, who got 9? Okay, good. So that's the average or the mean for set A. Now do the same thing for set B. I'll write that one in red. So it's 5 plus 9 plus 9 plus 13 plus 27. Divide that by 5. And who got 12.6? All right, so now let's go ahead and answer the question in part A. Part A says, which set has the largest mean, or are the means the same? So which one would you say had a higher mean, set A or set B? Set B. Do you agree, set B? So let's write that. Set B, mean is higher. All right, now let's do the same thing with the range. So let's find the range of set A and set B. So for set A, remember, in order to find the range, you take the highest number, subtract from that the lowest number. So the highest number in set A is 13 and the smallest number is 5. So go ahead, use your calculator, figure out what you get when you take 13 minus 5. And what did you get for the range of set A? What is 13 minus 5? 8. Good, thank you. All right, now let's do set B. The highest number in set B is 27 and the smallest is 5. So to find our range, we're going to take 27 minus 5. And that gives you 22. So now let's answer the question. Which set has the smallest mean? I'm sorry, the smallest range. So which one has a smaller range? Set A or set B? A. So let's answer that. Set A, range is smaller. All right, and now we're going to do the median. Now, both of these are already in order, so we don't need to rewrite it, but the median of set A, well, I'll just rewrite it anyway. So we got these are my numbers, 5, 9, 9, 13. So we have two numbers in the middle. Whenever there are two numbers in the middle, we need to take the average of these two numbers. So if you take 9 plus 9, you get 18, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. So set A has a median of 9. Now let's do the same thing for set B. Set B, our numbers are 5, 9, 9, 13, and 27. What's the median of set B? 9. So the median is 9. So now we're ready to answer the question. Which set has a larger mean, which set has the largest median, or are the medians the same? They're the same. So now we have this question here. If we look at both of these sets, notice that this first set, all of the numbers are from 5 to 13. But then we have a number, that 27 is significantly higher than the other numbers. And that's what an outlier is. An outlier is when you have a number, it's a number that is significantly, which means it's a big difference, significantly higher or lower than the others, than the other numbers. That's what an outlier is. So when we look at this, notice that when you have an outlier, outliers, and I know I'm writing a lot, you just got to squeeze it in there. Outliers impact the range and mean the most. Because if we look at what we did, the outlier didn't change what the median was. So having an outlier, that doesn't affect a median. So it has no effect on median. All right, so now we're going to use that. Information. Let's go to the next question. So again, just remember that an outlier does affect, because if we go back to what we just did, when we compared set A and set B had an outlier. So this set here, this is the set that had an outlier. So that 27 is significantly higher than the other numbers. And that outlier, it affected the mean, it affected the range, but for part C, the median did not change. Okay, any questions about that? Yes.
If there's two medians, you just add them and divide by 2.
Right. And we're gonna look at one of those homework questions together. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the same thing. I want you to look at these two. Notice how we have these numbers. What do you think the outlier is? What number is the outlier in this data set? The 50. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to find the mean and the median of both of these data sets. So go ahead and find the mean and median of both of these data sets. So for the first one, go ahead and add them up. Let me see how many numbers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one has 7 numbers. And the one with an outlier has 8 numbers. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple minutes to find the mean and median of both of those data sets. And you don't have to show your work. Actually, I'm not going to do that. You all can just add them all up, divided by 7. Plus, so we got 3 plus 8 plus 2 plus 9 plus 7 plus 6 plus 8. And divide that by 7. All right, who got about 6.1? For the mean? Who got that? Raise your hand if you got that. All right, now let's put these numbers in order so we can find our median. So the smallest number in this list is 2. And then we got a 3. And what's next? 6, 7, and then 2 8s. Nope, I'm missing a number. Oh, and a 9. Okay. Go ahead and figure out the number in the middle. So what number is in the middle? 7, good. That would be my median. All right, now let's do the same thing with the data set that has an outlier. So let's add those up, divided by 8. So who got 11.6? About. Okay, so we got 11.6. That's our mean. All right, now let's do our median. So we got our 2, 3, 6, 7, 2 8s, and a 50. And I forgot the 9. I don't know why that 9, we just keeps getting left off. Okay, there we go. All right, now what number is in the middle? We got to take the average of 2 numbers.
7, 8.
So we have these 2 numbers are in the middle. Whenever there's 2 numbers in the middle, we have to find the average. So you're going to take 7 plus 8, and then, excuse me, divide that by 2. So go ahead and add those 2 numbers together. If there's more than one number in the middle, add them together and divide by 2. In your homework, but a lot of them have 2 numbers in the middle, and you have to add them and divide by 2. So you should get 7.5. Who got 7.5? All right, so now I want you to answer, how did that outlier affect? So for the mean, did it have a big change or a small change in the mean? We went from 6 to 11. So did it increase a lot? Yeah, so for the mean, it increased a lot. But for the median went from 7 to 7.5. So it had a small change. So because of that, if I was trying to use 1 to be a better predictor of what the middle would be, because mean and median is what we call a measure of the center. The best measure of center when you have an outlier. So if you have an outlier, we're going to rely more on the median, because an outlier doesn't significantly impact the median. But if there is no outlier, we're going to rely more on the mean. That is a quiz question. Which, by the way, the quiz was supposed to be Friday, but we moved that to next Tuesday. So it's not going to be Friday, it's going to be next Tuesday. Yes?
For the homework, what if there is 2 numbers that occur the most?
2 numbers that who?
That occur the most.
You can have more than one mode. So for the mode, you can have more than one, you can have no mode, or you can have one mode. You can have more than one mode. All right, last question for today, and then I can answer homework questions. All right, so we have these 3 teams. Suppose you want to join one of the 3 basketball teams, but you want to join the one that's doing the best. So what I want you to do really quickly is I want you to find the mean. I'm going to add a little. Find the mean. So I want you to add up. So we got 3. We got the Jaguars, the Wolves, and the Lions. So I want you to add up these 5 numbers divided by 5. Put that there. Do the same thing for the Wolves. Add up their 5 numbers divided by 5. Put that there. And do the same thing for the Lions. Add up these 5 numbers, divide by 5. So I want you to get all 3 means. So let's go ahead and add them up. So we got the 67 plus 87 plus 54 plus 99 plus 78. Go ahead, divide that by 5. And then I'll put up my answers in a second. I want you all to get your 5 answers, and then I'll show you my 5 answers. All right, pencil down when you get all 3 means so I'll know. So number 1 says, if you're trying to figure out which basketball team to join, you want to join the one that has the highest, that's doing the best so far. So we're going to rank them in order by their mean. So who agrees with my 3 answers, first of all? Because you know it's early. 77, 69, 68.2. Who got that? All right. So what team has the highest mean? So if we had to rank them, first would be the Jaguars, because they have the highest. So that would be first. Second would be the Wolves. And third would be the Lions. So now let's do the same thing for the medians. So I want you to go ahead and find the medians of all 3 of these. So let's start off with the Jaguars. We got to put them in order now. So what was their lowest point? So the lowest score they got was game 3. So that was 54. And then after 54 was 67. Then after 67 was 78. And then after 78 was 87. And then it was 99. So what number is in the middle for the Jaguars? 78. All right, you go ahead and do the next 2. Put them in order. For the Wolves and for the Lions, put them in order from least to greatest and pick the number in the middle. Okay. So who agrees with my 3 medians? So I got 78 for the Jaguars, 80 for the Wolves, and 65 for the Lions. Who got that? So now if we were going to use their median score, who would have the highest? The Wolves would be first because 80 is the highest. Second place would be who?
Jaguars.
The Jaguars. And then last place would be the Lions. So either way, the Lions, they just not doing too well. All right, so that's the end of today's lesson. Go ahead and use this time to work on your homework. So I just want to remind you, in the homework, there are some questions where it has no mode, and then some questions have more than one number that's the mode. Okay. And then if there's 2 numbers in the middle for the median, we have to add them and divide it by 2. All right, so use this time. If you have questions about your homework, you can raise your hand. I can help you with that. Homework is still due Friday, but our quiz has been moved to Tuesday. And this is our last homework of the year.